It is, the appearance is separated into many small movies. And my major belief is that music and cinema have the same structure. So you could count that yesterday's concert was in fact many small movies in which the Dionysic and very strengthful expressions that we use, different patterns, and what I call today in music crossover was used in order to make people go through a kind of very strong catharsis. And this is what happens everywhere. It's very special music that is made like the only self-promoting element that exists, because we don't publish CDs, we don't do classical way to attack people's mind to bring them to the audience and to the halls. And what I like on this is, in fact, that each time we play in one place, we get another three. And this is how it could be that we have 14 years touring around.
Yesterday's audience was frenetic. They were almost in a trance.
I don't know what happens, but this music is really designed to cure people, to help them to go through today's life as if they went through with this music. I think it becomes more, they get more powerful and more smiley, and their life is easier. I did it after doing a film called Underground, which was something that was too serious for me and too, I would say, it was too gloomy. And then I said, what is the purpose of art? And purpose of art today could be to make collective therapy. And this is what this music does even better than cinema.
Your films and your music are reflecting different influences that you absorbed all along your life, from East to Western cultural heritage.
It's in the structure, I think, unique in this sense, because no many places in the world you have where the culture from West and the East affects your life, like in Serbia or in Bosnia, the same. We have authentic tradition, which we have developed throughout the centuries. And if you look the way that people react to this music, you could see easily, and films too, you could see easily that we could come to one definition, that it's like a Marx Brothers doing Shakespeare. And this kind of combination has made my position in cinema much more, I would say, vivid and much more strengthful than many others, because they had explored and exhausted, they get exhausted in exploring their own genre. This genre is always open, and it operates with many possibilities to make it more dynamic and from inside more strengthful, which means less to go through catharsis, which is still the way to communicate with the audience from the period of past up till today.
And you created this Balkan mythology with all these characters bigger than life, with its gypsies, its music, its weddings, its funerals.
These are the elements of life. What I strongly believe and I support in whatever I do is that the idea and the material must be existing. Lately I was reading The Bridge Over the Drina River, probably the most important book, and in the analysis, if you analyze a little bit, you find that Ivo Andrić was operating mainly with the elements that come from the life. What does it mean? If we're speaking about hotel existed. Most of the characters that are created in the book, they had their own duplicates, or they were origin from the life. And that's why I believe that this way of doing it must be personal and must be unusual, but it must grow from some photography. And life is very often the best photography for cinema, for literature, for the art.
It seems that war inspired you.
War is something in our area that makes us very tragic nation. The war is, as Ivo Andrić says, not like in the other places. War is never solving our problems because of what we came into the war, but it's opening each time the new chapter and new questions that we have to answer with a new war. It's really the most fragile place where all strong moves that are made in Western Europe or in the East, the main censor for this is Balkan area.
Underground is a metaphor of Yugoslav society which was cut off from the rest of the world due to propaganda of Tito's regime. Nevertheless, it was widely acclaimed, and that was your second Palme d'Or in Cannes Film Festival. Why do you think people related to this story?
Because they found interesting anecdote out of which the whole story was, and they believed it was just Tito. I think it was also, it is the question of humanity. Everything is put upside down in this movie. People live underground and they believe they live outside. They never were given information that war is stopped, so they have a strong tool of propaganda. But you have it today, in today's life. The world is run by war economy. And the war economy is planting the wars, and at the same time you have humanitarian organizations which are speaking about humanity, but the same financier is here. The same group or the same power is generating both. Those who speak about how we need to be human and starting the war. That's why I think Underground was, even for those who did not go so deeply into analysis, they understood what's going on. And this is what is going on. War is one of the major fuels of the economy, major economy, or economies around the world. Ex-Yugoslavia was one of the strongest producers of the weapons. I think one of the reasons why we were destroyed was not because Milosevic was a bad guy, but because the existence of Yugoslavia as a powerful country with, especially, possibility to sell ammunition and the very sophisticated weapons to Iraq and Iran to fuel the war, they didn't want to have this competition. That's why Underground, I think, was welcomed in many countries around the world, and for its formality, which I think it's quite powerful and gets sometimes turbulent, but it's Dionysic. It's something that gets very much, many people get through the catharsis, but real one.
Going back to your influences, you often said that Fellini is your cinematic father.
He is main, but I'm still in the iconography of Tarkovsky. I'm very much influenced by the Soviet cinema, nude cinema, by Dovzhenko, by Eisenstein, by many who I have Pudovkin, many who I have learned how to express and how to structure the language of cinema, because the language is the most important. You have to find a way to communicate with the people if you have your own language or language that you originate from some other source. And my real origination was the way that Fellini was thinking and the way that Russians were using camera.
And yet you slept 3 times at the screening of Amarcord.